Good evening, everybody. Chodesh Tov. And welcome to this beautiful shir. I would like to thank Joel and Michelle for hosting the shir. May Hashem bless you. Amazing members of the community and board members. May Hashem reward all your hard work for the community, and may Hashem give you all the brachot from the Torah and nachat from your family. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. And may this house be full of bracha always. And Torah and shiurim lectures with the Rebbetzin, with Rabbi Samy. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. There is a very powerful statement in Chazal, in the Gemara, the Talmud in Nedarim, page 64b. It says, Tanu Rabbanan. The sages thought, Arba'a chashuvim kamet. 4 are considered like dead. Ani, Suma, Metzora, Umi she'en lo banim. Even though there are people who are alive physically, but spiritually, they're considered like if they were dead. A poor person, a blind person, a Metzora, which is a person afflicted with Tzarat, a spiritual skin condition that requires isolation, and one who doesn't have children. Now, why would the Torah consider these people like dead? I mean, they're breathing, they're walking, they're speaking, they're functioning. So what is Chazal revealing? If I were to ask you, what does it mean to be alive?
You want to answer?
Yes.
I'd say to have purpose.
Amazing. To have purpose.
Very good.
So Rabbi Shmulevis explains, he gives a beautiful explanation on this Gemara, and he says that life is not defined by existence, but by what a person gives to others. A person who cannot give is missing the definition of life. That is why Chazal defined these 4 like that, because each one is in a different way limited in their giving. What's the common denominator? What connects all 4? The Metzorah. He's isolated, he's unable to give to others. The blind person, limited ability to impact others. The poor person, he's receiving all the time and he can't give. And the one who doesn't have children, he's missing the deepest form of giving. So Chazal are teaching a definition. Life is measured by the ability to give. Now, it doesn't mean that these 4 categories don't have a chance to come back to life or to do something to be alive. Rather, they have to find somehow or somewhere how they can fulfill this purpose that they are missing. Because as Rav Chaim Shmulevitz said, life is not just existing, but rather life is what a person gives to others. There's a beautiful pasuk in Parashat Behar, in Perek Hey, pasuk Lamed Hey, chapter 25, verse 35. V'chiyamuch achicha umata yado imach, v'chezakta bo, ger v'toshav, v'chai imach. And when your brother becomes poor, and his hand falters with you, you shall strengthen him, a stranger and a resident, and he shall live with you. The Torah is teaching us that if a Jew, God forbid, he begins to experience financial setbacks, even before he reaches a stage of poverty, it is our responsibility to slow that decline and help him regain his prosperity. Actually, people think that tzedakah is giving to the poor, which is true. But one of the biggest ways to give tzedakah is to make sure someone who's not poor yet, to help him, that he shouldn't become poor and he shouldn't have to ask for tzedakah. So Hashem says, make sure you help anybody as much as you can. This pasuk was said in Parashat Behar when Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation, were still in the desert, in the Midbar. So they asked the Sochot Shebet Rebbe once, when the Jewish people were in the desert, in the wilderness, and their needs were completely provided for by Hashem, how could they possibly fulfill the mitzvah of vechezakta bo, of supporting and strengthening another person? What were they missing? Clothing, they had it. Not only that, The Midrash says that the clothing will be washed every day miraculously for everyone, and the clothing will grow with the people. It was a 5-star hotel. We don't have those hotels anymore. They would go to sleep and they would wake up the next morning. The clothing was washed and was fresh and was ironed and everything was perfect. Food. What food did they have? Everything. They ate the man and it tasted like anything you wanted. You want to build them? Build them. I mean, what else can you think of, right? You wanted whiskey, whatever you wanted. And nobody was lacking of food. Actually, it was the best Parnasah years for Am Yisrael. No one needed tzedakah. They had heavenly food coming down every single day. So if no one was missing anything, right, so what were they giving each other? How could they fulfill this mitzvah v'chazaktabu?
Emotional support.
Oh, great.
Community.
The people who host the shir, they know the shir, so they, yes. Michelle got my notes. She said, she called me up and she said, Rabbi, we're so happy you're coming. And rabbis will always say, oh, Michelle, what could I bring you? And usually people say, nothing, Rabbi, just come and give the shir. She said, no, give me your notes, please. And I want to be able to show off and give the right answers. Well, she got them. She got the notes and she's got the right answer. Thank you, Michelle. Unbelievable. So the Rebbe, the Sochotcher Rebbe and Michelle, they give a beautiful answer. And they explain that this mitzvah is not limited to financial assistance. It also includes spiritual and emotional support. Therefore, even in the desert, where no one lacked anything materially, there was still endless opportunities to fulfill the chezaktavu by strengthening one another in other ways. If one person had stronger emunah than another person, then he could fulfill this mitzvah by strengthening the other person's faith. If someone had greater Torah knowledge or better study skills, so he could fulfill this mitzvah by teaching and assisting others in their learning. If someone was simply struggling emotionally, so they could fulfill this mitzvah by offering encouragement, support, and strength. So it's not only money or material things what we could give. This mitzvah applies in all different kinds of areas of so many things you could give people that are not limited to just tzedakah by giving money or anything that has to do with material objects. In fact, the Gemara in Bava Batra, page 9b says, Amar Rabbi Yitzchak said, Kol hanoten peruta le'ani, whoever gives a coin to a poor person, mitvarech b'shesh brachot, he's blessed with 6 blessings. V'mefaiso b'dvarim, but if he appeases him with words and makes him feel good with his words, mitvarech be'achad asara brachot. So then he's blessed with 11 blessings. A person who makes a poor person feel good is blessed with almost double the blessings of one who simply gives the money. Sometimes when you see a group of schnorrers, they say in Yiddish, the people who go collecting, when you go to the kotel, for example, right, and you're past the lady that has the Kabbalistic red strings and she blessed your great-great-great-grandchildren already, and she already promised you that all your daughters will get married with rich men, Talmidei Chachamim, Torah scholars, rabbis, wealthiest men, Forbes, everything together, okay? So after you got all those blessings and you passed that, it takes you longer to go through those ladies than the security when you go into the kotel. That much I can tell you. So you pass those ladies. And there are people walking around and you see people asking for tzedakah. So sometimes, you have the feeling, okay, let me just have a few coins on my hand and just give the money and tell them to go away, right? Or like some people that are cheap, they're like, okay, their first prayer in the kotel is, please Hashem, don't let him see me, come on, tell him to go. There's a richer guy from America in a different place. Baruch Hashem, we always want to give. So you always give, you open your hand, you give, but you're like, oh, come on, just take the money and go away. Says the Gemara, if you would say a good word to him, you will get more blessings than the blessings you get by just giving the money. And by the way, one time I went to the kotel when we first got to Israel. My dear Rebbe and myself, we went with my parents. They came to Israel with us. And my father, he brought a huge bag of coins, shkalim. And he said, here are coins for you. He gave to my mom. They should both live and be well. He gave to my rabbits and he gave to me. And he said, you have enough coins to go around. And any schnorrer, any person that comes to ask for money, just give them. Fine. So, they saw me young, American, Mexican looking, I wasn't South African yet, but American, Mexican looking young Bahur that just got married. So, some schnorrers asked for money. I gave the tzedakah, amazing. And I ran out of coins very quickly. They came to the rabbits and by the lady's side, she also ran out of coins very quickly. My mom told me that for some reason, the schnorrers that people were collecting, they wouldn't come so close to her. And then she said, finally one guy came close to me and I decided, you know what? He's the only one that came close to me. I'm going to give him all my money. And then she told us, he looked like an Arab, but he was the only one that came too close to me. So my father was like, shoo, Becky, you were supposed to give to the, okay, fine. It's also tzedakah, whatever she did. Anyways, so my father said, I'm giving you the coins to give out for tzedakah, but don't forget, when you give, smile and say a good word. Say something like, Sheyeh lecha yom tov, you should have a nice day. And he knew what he was talking about. You get more blessings for those few nice words than for giving the coin. Now, why is it like that? How come the person who makes a poor person feel good, he's blessed with almost double the blessings of the one who just gives the money? Says Rabbi Israel Yaakov Lubchansky from Baranovich. He says something unbelievable. The most valuable possession we have is our time. It is easier to give others your money than to give them your time. So that person who's willing to give not only money to the poor person, but even to sacrifice their time to make the poor person feel good, that is the highest level of kindness and charity. And that's why he gets many more blessings than the person that just gives the money. That is the highest level of echezakta, of supporting him. As we said, in the midbar they weren't lacking anything, but they could give support by giving time. Because he's giving something far more valuable than his money, his time. Unlike money, they say money goes, money comes. Time is something that you can never get back. So whoever you decide to give your time to, you're giving him or her the most precious thing you have in your life. That is why it is the most valuable thing we have. And the greatest thing we can give any person is our time. Rav Shach used to say, the Rosh Yeshiva of Ponovich, that just like people are so careful to give maaser, tzedakah, they give a tenth or as much as they can give of whatever they make in the profits. So just like you're so makpid, you're so strict to give maaser, a tenth of your profits, Rav Shach said, you must also give maaser of your time to strengthen others. Whatever time you have. So try to give at least 10% of your time to help someone else, to make someone else feel good. And many people say, you know what, I'll give money and that's enough. But please, don't take my time, don't bother me. People are willing to pay money in order to save time and to avoid losing time. Everybody in this room pays Amazon Prime. But how many of us invest time in helping others? Let us not forget that time is the most valuable possession we have. And if the Torah commands, "V'chezaktabo," to strengthen others, we must also learn to fulfill this mitzvah with the most valuable thing we have. And if by making a poor person feel good, the Gemara guarantees 11 blessings, the more time you dedicate to strengthening others, the more Hashem will fill you with infinite blessings for you and your entire family. In honor of Yom HaZikaron, that's coming up next week, Monday night and Tuesday, I would like to share with you a beautiful true story that left me with a powerful message of what it means to give. a base of the IDF organized a party for its soldiers, and at the celebration, they held a raffle. So there were 300 soldiers, and each one contributed 50 shekel for the raffle. So the winner will receive 15,000 shekel. A donor from the USA, he decided to do a matching contribution. You know, like the Israelis say, Yesh lecha dod ashir be'Amerika. You have a rich uncle in America. So this was the rich uncle. So this rich uncle from America, he did a matching contribution and doubled it. So the winner will receive 30,000 shekels. That's a nice raffle. 30,000 shekels. So imagine the excitement as each soldier placed his name on a small slip of paper for the raffle. And one of the soldiers, he had a moment of inspiration and thought that instead of putting his own name, he remembered that there was another soldier who had been recently wounded and was going through a very difficult time in his life. And he truly needed the money more urgently than he did. So he decided that instead of trying to win himself, he would rather write down the name of his wounded friend, thereby slightly increasing his chances of winning the 30,000 shekels. When they were finally about to draw the winning name, so this soldier began to pray, he began to daven, he began to pray that this wounded friend, he should win. And finally, they pulled out the winning slip, the winning ticket, and miracle. His wounded friend won. And everyone began to applaud, everyone was so excited. Everyone was like, yeah, Baruch Hashem. Everyone was clapping their hands. There was great excitement and several tears from soldiers, including those tears of the wounded soldier who received the prize. So Baruch Hashem, the wounded soldier went up and he received his 30,000 shekels. After the party, this soldier who had written his wounded friend's name instead of his own, he began cleaning the event hall. So he went to the box of the raffle slips to look through them, and he received the shock of his life. As he kept pulling out the slips, he realized that all the 298 soldiers, besides himself, had done the same thing.
Wow.
Yeah. So every single ticket, every single slip had the same name, the name of the wounded soldier, because all of the friends, all of the chayalim wanted him to receive the prize and be giving a moment of joy in his life after going through such a difficult time. Wow. Patkol, you hear a heavenly voice saying, wow, even from the Zoom, you see. Gam Zoom letova, Zoom is also good. Baruch Hashem. That is giving. That is living. Ladies and gentlemen, life is about giving to others. We are in the period of mourning of the days of the Omer. And we know that sadly 24,000 students of Rabbi Kiva passed away because they didn't show proper respect for one another. So if 24,000 students of Rabbi Kiva passed away during these times, I think that if we can bring life to 24,000 Jews by giving honor to one another, we'll do the tikkun of what happened during these days, during the times of Rabbi Kiva. So let's do it. Let's try to take upon ourselves to bring life to as many Jews as possible. 24,000 is just a number. But don't limit yourselves. Could be more than 24,000. And nowadays, you don't even have to go there. You could text people, you could call people. Right before this shiur, I got a WhatsApp message from one of my students from South Africa, and he said, Rabbi, could I join the shiur? And today, I don't know what happened in South Africa today. Everyone texts me today. And today, while I was teaching, one of my old good students, Jay, he texted me, he said, Rabbi, it's been so long. I was just thinking about you. How's it? How's everything? How's the Rebbetzin? And how are the two kids? I said, now they're 5. Baruch Hashem. The Rebbetzin, she's still 1. Baruch Hashem. That stays the same. But Baruch Hashem, with the same Rebbetzin, can I not blame her of 5 children? And he's like, oh, Rabbi, do you still watch soccer? You still watch football? So I told him, you're not going to believe me. I teach at Hebrew Day, and the 7th graders, you know, boys, when they get 7th grade, something happens in their head that they start, in South Africa, they used to tell me that before they go into high school, so the little horns, you can't see them, but they start growing step by step. When they're matrics, that's when you can definitely see their full strength as teenagers. But they start from 7th grade already. So 7th graders, you know, they mess around. Baruch Hashem, I teach them and have a great time with me. So for some reason, I got a class that they're all soccer fans, which is very unusual for America, for the USA. In South Africa, they were all soccer fans, rugby, soccer, cricket, everything. But here in the USA, you know, to find, usually they follow basketball, football, baseball, Padres, whatever, but not soccer, and they're all soccer fans. Now, they didn't know that I'm a huge soccer fan, right? So one of the students looked at me and he said, Rabbi, you know, today is the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And I knew. I knew. And I looked at him and I'm like, really?
Who's playing?
I asked him, and I'm a huge Barcelona fan, and Barcelona was playing. So, you know, my president knows me. He knows what the rabbi asks before the rabbi asks it, right? So I look at him and I'm like, who's playing? He's like, Barcelona's playing. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, interesting. And I'm like, oh, shame, we're at school. How are we going to watch? He's like, no, in my computer, I could stream it. I'm like, oh, nice, interesting. So I look at them and I'm like, listen, it's 11:45 and the game starts at 12. If you guys learn well, from 11:45 until 12, I'll let you watch the game. Let you watch it. Like, really, Rabbi? You'll do that? I'm like, just for you. And I'm thinking to myself, Hashem sent me this opportunity. How else in the world can a rabbi watch Barcelona's game while he's teaching at school? So I told him that. I'm telling you, I've never seen these boys learning like that. They're unbelievable. They polished it. They did amazing. They finished the entire parak. The entire chapter we're learning Jewish knowledge, Navi, Prophet, Shmuel Bet. And they finished the entire parak. Parak Tet chapter 16. I never saw anything like this in my life. Now, these kids, sometimes they fake it like, oh, Rabbi, we're not so good at reading Hebrew. All of a sudden, they all read Hebrew, fluent, like if they were Israelis, you know, in the army, living in Israel. Unbelievable. All of a sudden, everyone speaks Hebrew. Anyways, finally, we finished the parak, and I'm like, okay, guys, you did amazing. It's 12 o'clock. You can watch the game. And one student came over to me. He said, Rabbi, but I don't like, so he's the only one that doesn't like, I don't like soccer. No, we're all watching the game, okay? So take a seat, and now we're watching the game. And they're like, Rabbi, tell us the truth. Are you a Barcelona fan? I'm like, yes, and thank you. Thank you for the computer, and thank you for streaming the game. Anyway, so this student from South Africa is like, Rabbi, I'm thinking about you. How long does it take for a person to make someone feel good? You know how good I felt when I got that message from him? And then I replied to him and I'm like, Jay, how you doing? You know how good they feel? It takes you nothing to make hundreds and thousands of people feel good. So do it. This is our time. Show that you're alive by what you give to others. Show what you're made of. Demonstrate it through your actions. And we started this year saying that 4 are called dead because they're limited in giving, so the opposite is true. The more a person gives, the more life he reflects. This is not philosophy. This is the definition of a human being. A person is what he gives. And remember this for the rest of your lives. Giving is living. Thank you for listening and have a lovely night.